Hey guys, Julia here. Welcome back to another video. Super excited to be setting up my bullet journal for May. I'm only going to be in my journal for a couple of weeks in May, so I'm setting up the whole deal in this video. I've got my color palette for this one ready to roll, and I definitely want it to go with a softer pastel vibe. The theme was very easy for me to decide on this month because we're heading to Europe again, so I wanted this theme to embody the spirit, I guess, of the places we're visiting. But more on that later. Let's hit this quote page. The quote this month is "a new spring and a new sound," and this is a Dutch saying. I'm going to be putting the actual Dutch version of it under the English translation because I promise you don't want to even hear me attempt to say it, but I just thought it was a beautiful quote and very fitting for the occasion since we will be visiting a few cities in the Netherlands. I'm also including tulip doodles throughout the setup since that is their national flower. Another national flower you'll see on this page and throughout is the cornflower, and this one is from Germany. I honestly tried to make the flower doodles as simple as possible because for some reason florals just scare the shit out of me to draw, so not the most accurate depictions, but the attempt is there. I also have some teeny tiny little marguerite daisies sprinkled in here too. I dreaded drawing these probably the most, so I just made the little accent doodles out of these, and those daisies are the national flower of Denmark. So yeah, Copenhagen is where we will begin our little skirt across Northern Europe. Another sort of well-known aspect of the culture in both Denmark and parts of the Netherlands is the bike culture. And drawing bikes is also pretty challenging for me, so I was just conquering all of the drawing woes on this one, but I'm just using my brown fine liner for any outlines this time around because the colors are just so soft and I thought the brown would complement that tone a little better versus using a black fine liner. All of the supplies I'm using and my bullet journal specs are always linked down below if you're ever curious what I'm using to create the spreads. Okay, so we have Denmark covered, Germany, and the Netherlands. The flower at the top of the cover page illustration is the bellflower, and that's the national flower of Sweden. It was actually just voted on a couple of years ago as the new national flower, but we're planning just to hop across the bridge over to Malmo, Sweden from Copenhagen for a day, so this is pretty much the only reference to Sweden in this setup. But I just thought it was a cute little topper almost for this cover page. I think the only other detail I want to point out here is that May is in Dutch as well. You guys know I love language, I love learning and experiencing other places, so it was really fun to sort of figure out how to combine all these places into one theme. The next spread I'm going to be working on is the monthly calendar spread, and thanks to my journaling buddy Jashi Curran, I've discovered this vertical calendar. I took a break from it last month, but I really do like it, and I don't see it a lot, really at all, in the community, but I don't know. I love that it's full size, but only takes up one page versus an entire spread. But yeah, this calendar is just all business for me. I typically don't do a lot of decoration initially on here because I want to get in the dates and just be able to get a good bird's eye view of the month. On the opposite page, it's quite the opposite. I'm working on a windmill, and not a super specific one, but I tried to blend together the look of the windmills I saw when researching Danish, German, and Dutch style. And yeah, I'm going in with the outline first. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to color this thing in. I could have definitely gone full out and would have loved to do a gouache painting or something, but y'all know right now I'm focusing on trying to get these setups done where they're still impactful and make me happy to look at and use, but are quickish to create. So yeah, for me, using water-based markers, so your Tombos, the Calligraphs, and the Primrosia dual tip markers, those are my go-tos right now for just getting color down and keeping it moving. Another trick, I really don't know what to do with the background at all, and I'm still not 100% if I liked how it turned out, but I did sort of do this crisscross hatching grid pattern in the background just to give it some color there, but still keeping it the same sort of style as everything else, just really loose, really sketchy, and I guess that's just sort of my vibe. Okay, flipping us over, the next spread is my monthly dashboard spread, and this one has gone through some flex, some change in the last few months just because I've been changing it up to fit whatever I have going on in my life in a particular month, what's important to me, what I feel like I want to keep track of in a month's time. So this month I have boxes for monthly invoices that need to go out, wedding tasks, videos that I'm working on, last minute trip tasks and details, my yearly focus section, what fountain pens I have inked up, and any movies or TV shows we're watching. So super simple to lay out, just some boxes. And of course, if you recreate this, you could easily tailor this to the things that you want to keep a monthly track of, a shopping list, a cleaning list, just some other ideas there. Under those, I'm working on some decoration. When I think of both Copenhagen and Amsterdam, I think of the architecture and those like riverfront row houses. So I wanted to just kind of freestyle some of those, again, sort of mixing architecture styles, taking bits and pieces of the elements I found online to create these buildings. And then I got really brave and just did another outline of a bike. I tried to be like a little more careful with this one because I knew I wasn't gonna color it in. The rest of the blank space, I'm just filling in with flowers and sparkles, and I like this contrast of the outlined main subjects and a colorful filler. This page actually makes me super excited because in Copenhagen, we're doing a food tour. I always love a good food tour when we travel, but this one will be on bikes, which will be really fun. And I don't know, this page just makes me think of that, the good vibes like flowing through the wind and all of that. But yeah, I really do love how this spread turned out. All right, the next spread is the first weekly spread of the month, and it's quite perfect because the month starts on a Monday, so that at least means that I probably won't make a mistake here. The long box on the left is for my task list that I'll pull over into the daily sections. I've been splitting those up with work to-dos on top and anything personal below. The little tan bar that you see me adding down the side is where the task boxes will go. I just thought it would be fun to add a little subtle color there. Any meetings and events will be on the top section of the daily boxes. And then decoration for this one is super simple. I'm just adding a little frame up top with the German word Fernvet in it, and of course some sparkles and whatnot, but there's not really one English word that this translates to, but it means feeling like the strong desire to travel and visit faraway places, which it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. No, it's not really a problem, but I do honestly love being like in my house or far away. But yeah, I do love that there's a word for that feeling in German. Moving along to the next spread, which is another weekly spread. This one looks a little different, of course, because I change weekly spread layouts constantly. But for this one, I still have my task bank over here on the left, split up for work and personal. And then I'll just put my first little daily header in here and the rest will run just right after. But this is the pen and ink combo I'm using for task writing this month. This is my dark olive Kaweco Sport with a fine nib. I've been loving this pen more and more. And then the ink is by Ferris Wheel Press called Peter Moss, and it's one of my favorites. You'll see a little more of that later, but down below, I'm just doodling in another building with the fine liner. Got some silver sparkles happening, and these are all with metallic paint pens, so just a little shimmer to all of the spreads. I'm not sure if that's reading really well on camera, but yeah, just a little hint of color on the left side there, and some washi because I can't not put washi on a spread for some reason now. But yeah, we're actually gonna do a quick flip through of all the spreads, but don't go anywhere because it's a plan with me. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of planning on the monthly calendar spread. But yeah, let's flip through these spreads. The first one is the cover spread, which acts as a divider from the previous month, plus gives me some space to flex some creative muscle or whatever. I really love how this one came out. We have the monthly calendar spread that gives me a monthly overview of any meetings and birthdays, any travel. The next spread is the monthly dashboard spread, probably my favorite of the bunch, but this is where I'm gonna be keeping up with any month-specific tasks. And then I have my 2 weekly spreads, which will take me up until the trip starts. Okay, now that I'm all set up, the first thing I do for planning a new month is flipping back to the future log I set up at the beginning of the year and grab any dates that I need to pull forward into the current month. The biggest thing for May is obviously the trip, so I'm gonna go ahead and block out these days with a light tan. So speaking of this, I won't be back from Europe until the beginning of June, so there's not gonna be a plan with me for June, but I'll show you guys what I end up doing in my journal over on Instagram. Definitely follow me over there for that. And if you wanna see what I get up to on the trip, I love bringing you guys along with me. I've got my Kaweco out again, and I'm pulling over some other dates here. Cam's got a suit fitting coming up, yay. There's a birthday to add to the calendar, and then I just wrote in the cities we'll be in for the trip and when, since we'll be kind of bouncing around a bit. But yeah, that'll do it. I'm excited for the adventure. I appreciate all of you so much. Let me know what you think about the spreads. If you have any travel recommendations, leave them down below. I'll leave a video recommendation for you, and I will catch you all in the next one.